Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Life Lesson Series number 35. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, comment below. Would love if you did all of those things. If there's a topic you want to see covered, please feel free to reach out. We'll try to do that within a couple of days when we can. Usually, I'm here several times per week with these audios on a variety of topics. We get over 800 of them. Would love to get your input on where to go from here. Always evolving, always growing. If you're looking for life, relationship, business coaching, would love to be of assistance there to you as well. Over 16,000 people served over the last 14 years. Would love to be of assistance to you in that way. In any event, you can reach out through Twitter at PO Perception. You can reach out through the About Me section of this YouTube page and ultimately get to where you need to be. Anyway, so, some things just to look at. Leave your comfort zone. Look, if you're comfortable, you're not growing. The only way to grow muscle, emotional muscle, physical muscle, mental muscle, is to push beyond where you're comfortable. Now, it doesn't mean push to the point where you're strained, doesn't mean push to the point where you're unhealthy, doesn't mean push to the point where you're burned out, but push as far as you're confident in going, and then push a little bit farther and you've made progress. You cannot make progress when you don't push yourself out of your comfort zone, because your comfort zone are the things you can almost begin to learn to do on autopilot, and living on autopilot will not lead to progress. It'll lead to kind of an indecisiveness in the end. So the next thing to look at is drive. What drives you and why? And also update your drive, maybe 2 times a year, maybe 4 times a year. But every once in a while, update and go, what's driving me now? Because it may not be what drove you before. If you're in a new relationship, you may be driven by trying to take care of your partner. If you have a new job, you may be driven by trying to impress your boss. If you have had a spiritual awakening, you may be driven to find life purpose. All of these are valid drives, and they change over time. But the reality of the situation is, if you're living by the drive that you had 5 years ago, 5 months ago, you're probably not maximizing your life. Whereas if you're living by the drive of where you're going and what's motivating you now, you can get more out of the actions you take. The next is action plans. Find a way to act on a consistent basis. Now, doesn't mean you have to take massive action, although the bigger the action you take, the bigger the reward if it pays off. But at the same time, it's much better to take small, consistent actions than one pass or fail action. So have a way that you understand how to take action on a consistent basis that's going to lead you towards your goals on a regular basis. Now, the reason it's better to do it regular than large is because if you are in the habit of doing things regularly, you'll be more likely to be consistent with your commitment to the progress of whatever goal you're trying to reach. The next is learn how you decide things best. What that means at the end of the day is, understand your decision making process. Do I need to talk to 3 people? Do I need to spend time in prayer? Do I need to think things through? Do I need to make a pro con list? How do I decide things in a best way? Because sometimes indecision can paralyze us to the point where we don't get any sort of progress on a consistent basis, and we keep going, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. Later does not exist in any level of connective long-term effect. And so that can be valuable or not, depending on what you do with it. But finding ways to keep yourself motivated and focused on moving things forward can be super, super valuable. The next thing to look at, this is kind of where to go from here, and kind of figure out how to make intelligent questions on a consistent basis. The next thing is kind of finding ways to understand how to kill fear. Now, it doesn't mean that you can never be afraid, but fear was originally designed as an emotion of self-protection. And so it's important when you're afraid of something to go, do I have something that is an imminent danger to me? Do I have something that, if I don't make a protective decision right now, um, I can expect, or more often than not expect, that I'll have a negative consequence that's going to take me weeks, months, or years to clean up? Or do I feel resilient enough that I can overcome whatever might be coming my way as it relates to this? If you feel you can overcome, then push through the fear. If you honestly feel that it's a life or death situation, either emotionally, mentally, or whatever, then obviously make alterations. But be mindful that every alteration you make holds back your progress. The next is take and make intelligent risks. So an intelligent risk is a risk that you've studied, a risk that you've pro-conned, a risk that that you know how to recover from if worst case scenario happens. A lot of people take impetuous risks, which is, I feel this way, therefore I'm going to act. And often that is foolishness because it doesn't lead you to anything that gives you what you really want, which is progress. And so use risk intelligently. The next is lead. Find ways to study leadership. Find ways to learn to be a better leader. Find ways to learn where your leadership lacks and ask people who admire you or esteem you or like you as a person what kind of leader you are, and be willing to listen to them from a neutral place so that you can begin to make intelligent long-term decisions. Be willing to help and be grateful for help wherever you can. So that means be willing to receive help and show gratitude, but also look for opportunities in your daily life to help others. You cannot be focused on what's going wrong in your life and serving someone else at the same time. So when you need to make an emotional switch, look for ways to help, no matter how small. Now, don't overhelp and don't overgive. So make sure that when you're helping, it's not going to inconvenience you to a point where your own goals are permanently damaged, but inconvenienced. Maybe you need to shift a timeline. Maybe you do it tomorrow instead of today. Maybe it takes you a little bit longer. That's fine, but just make sure you're helping in balance. But make helping others a habit so you can move forward. The next thing is evolve. Look at the evolution of your mind, your ideas, the things you want to accomplish, and be looking for ways to grow and evolve on a consistent basis. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to have every answer, but it is important to look for new ways to answer age old questions. Do you have to know everything? No, but do you have to always be learning something that's going to move you forward? Preferably, because when you're moving forward, then you're getting to a place that matters. In any event, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.